What we're dealing with right now is many years of deferred maintenance, of weakness, that we need to reestablish strength and deterrence in multiple places around the globe, but pertinently today for this region. There was a lot of talk about shifting, a lot of talk about emphasis on the Indo-Pacific, a lot of talk about allies. What the Trump administration will do is deliver. Is truly prioritize and shift this region to the world in a way that is unprecedented to match the threats of the future, with a recognition that for the 21st century to be a free century, America needs to stand alongside our allies and partners, shoulder to shoulder. Today it's the Philippines, tomorrow it's Japan, it will be Australia and South Korea and other nations in this part of the world, where together, by, with, and through, we will establish the deterrence necessary to prevent war. You mentioned the 7th Fleet. It's not my job to determine where the 7th Fleet goes. I defer to Admiral Paparo and his war plans, real war plans. Admiral Paparo understands the situation, understands the geographic significance, understands the urgency, and is prepared to work with those in the region to ensure we are leaning forward in our posture, not waiting for events to develop, not retrograding to places further from the front, but deploying capabilities forward, posturing and creating dynamics and strategic dilemmas for the Communist Chinese that help them reconsider whether or not violence or action is something they want to undertake. Again, President Trump is a peacemaker. President Trump seeks peace. That's my message here as well. But in order to bring that peace, we will be strong. Our allies will know we stand with them. Our admirals are prepared and they will be properly equipped. We're rebuilding our military under President Trump, reviving that warrior ethos across the force. You know, I look out at the men and women of our military, many of which I did PT with this morning, younger and more fit than their secretary. And I see mechanics, I see special operators, I see lawyers, I see fuelers, I see pilots, I see sailors, all with different jobs. What I ultimately see are warriors in the profession of arms, here deployed forward with our allies, postured and prepared to deter war. So Admiral Paparo is exactly where we need him to be, with contingencies laid in place, and we will be positioned to stand with our partners, hopefully to prevent any conflict at all.
We now call on Mr. Chad Williams of Agence France Presse to ask his question.
Thank you. This is for Secretary Hegseth. You gave a speech last month at the Pentagon Town Hall where you specifically talked at length about accountability. And I'm wondering, including even in the smallest things you said, and I'm wondering if now, as we have the Senate Armed Forces Committee asking for a report into the signal controversy, if you feel, as the leader of the Defense Department, you have any level of responsibility for what Marco Rubio and some other people have called a mistake.
Thank you for the question. I'm responsible for ensuring that our department is prepared and ready to deter and defeat our enemies. And I'm quite proud of what our forces in CENTCOM did on that initial series of very effective and devastating strikes, and the ongoing campaign that we're undertaking, because that is again, on the backs of 4 years of deferred maintenance and failure and weakness of the Biden administration, we are reestablishing deterrence. And as the leader of that department, my job is to advise and work alongside the president, and then work with my fellow cabinet members to ensure that we're operationalizing in every way possible, reestablishing that deterrence. So we will ensure the freedom of navigation returns to that part of the world, just as, pertinent to our conversation today, freedom of navigation is something the Philippines experiences in the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea. It's something we take very seriously.
So we'll go with Kazu next.
Thank you so much for having us today. So I'm a Christian who